I had a great relationship with my supervisor, but man, he was slow. And so I definitely resonate with this question. So, how can we be productive with the 2, 3, 4, sometimes 8 weeks or longer that you might be waiting for that feedback to come in? So, a couple of thoughts here. First, I think it's okay to give yourself a break during that window. If you know that consistently your advisor is a 3 week turnaround, give yourself a breather for 3 weeks. You know that that's coming. You can see that on the horizon. And it can be hard for us sometimes to allow ourselves to rest during the dissertation process because we want to get it done. We're moving and we have this big, ambitious goal ahead of us, but you're not going to make it to the end if you don't rest. So that's a great time for that long weekend, for that family trip that you've been talking about, for a trip to the spa, get a massage, whatever it is that kind of boosts you back up. Use that window as an opportunity to give yourself permission to rest. Remember that rest is not about stopping, rest is about fueling for the next phase. So, if you have a good idea of how long that chunk is going to be, I think rest is really good. It can be difficult to rest if we don't know how long that chunk is going to be. So if we're anticipating turnaround in a week and it's actually 6 weeks, that can be really agonizing. So what can we do during that window? I think it's a great opportunity to start thinking about what comes next. So let's say that you have submitted your literature review and you anticipated a 1 week turnaround, but for whatever reason, we're 3 weeks in, we still don't have feedback. Go ahead, start working on that chapter 3. Start pulling that draft together because you're going to have to do that eventually. We can always work ahead and then we pivot and respond once we get that information back from our advisor. You know, there are things that are going to have to be incorporated, right? So you can go ahead and start working on those pieces ahead of time. The key is we want to make sure that we carry advisor feedback forward. So in my example, if I'm working on chapter 2, that's been sent off. I start chapter 3 early. When I get my chapter 2 feedback, I want to make sure I carry that feedback forward into my chapter 3. So I pick that chapter 3 back up. I make the edits to try to align with that prior feedback before I submit. But I think those are really the two best strategies. We can either give ourselves permission to rest, which is really what I would advise you to do. But if you can't rest because the stress and anxiety and the looming is feeling too heavy, go ahead, start working ahead. Work on that second chunk, that next chapter, get ahead on that work.